I don't care about you. You might think that I do because I'll say stuff like, I love you guys. But at the same time, I don't care about you. But you also don't care about me, even though you might think so. Now it sounds harsh, but it's the reality. And it's actually a great thing. So I'm going to explain why. First off, let's get real about what nobody cares actually means. So it's not that your mom doesn't love you or your friends wouldn't have your back in a fight or that I don't want you to succeed. It's simply the fact that nobody is actually thinking about you as much as you think about yourself. Now my parents came to Spain last week to visit and it reminded me of a moment when I was a kid. It was the first time I was going to go up on a stage. I had this performance. I was dressed up as a gnome, all right? Just imagine me, a kid, dressed up as a gnome, and it was so scary seeing the crowd that I started crying and I said, I can do this, and then I ran off the stage, right? Just picture me. And so, do you think that anyone else that was sitting there, the parents, the other kids, do you think that any one of them remembers that moment? No. Who remembers that moment? Me and potentially my parents, right? And those other parents that were sitting there were only thinking about their child. They were only watching their child and they remember those moments. But I don't remember any of them, right? And so we're always super busy with ourselves. Now, all these years later, I've done many speaking gigs all over the world. I've done a TEDx talk. It's been amazing. It's been very frightening to do those things. But that particular moment, that first time failure, was not a sign for my entire life. It was just a moment. When you go to the gym for the first time, you have this feeling that everybody's looking at you, everybody's staring, right? If you don't know the machines yet, you don't know how to perform the exercises. And in reality, think about this, like when you are training, are you actually like watching other people? And maybe you are, but if you are you actually paying attention to like what form they're using and thinking like they are stupid? The only thing you would probably think is, well, their form may not be good, so maybe I can give them a tip, help them improve. And this could also be a danger because once you are used to certain exercises, it feels comfortable doing them, so you don't try anything new, because then you feel like a noob again. And just like me, for example, when I did the handstand, tried out a handstand for the first time, or calisthenics, I couldn't do it at all. While with lifting, I felt really good about what I was doing, and so that is always kind of scary, but you should keep pushing out of that comfort zone, because that is where the growth happens. But with that said, I'm gonna start with the bench press today. Love this stuff. I'm gonna superset this with pull-ups. So my workout today is mainly strength focused, which is why I started with those compound lifts. But I'm training for the high rocks together with Rob. So we also got to do that part, okay? More so conditioning stuff. Also the exercises from the high rocks, which I've never done these in my life. So right now, for example, the sled push. I'm also here kind of like clueless, what am I doing? And so the first time I was doing this high rocks workout, I'm also, when I didn't do it with Rob together, because when you do it together with someone, you don't feel ashamed at all, but then when you're on your own, trying to figure stuff out, you think all of a sudden everybody's looking. You know, even when we're together with the two of us, you don't think anybody's looking, but when you're on your own, you always think so. And that's kind of interesting, the way that we work. Once you're in that social circle, you feel like it doesn't really matter. And so when you're on your own, I had it now with the high rocks, I'm still like figuring stuff out on my phone, like how much weight am I supposed to use? What's the difference between this one and this one? So I feel like I look kind of like a noob. Well, that's because I actually am right now, so that's fine. I found peace with that, and I think this guy has sort of been able to put more weight on it by using these bands, which I think is smart, because I just looked at the competition weight, and it is 152 kgs, including the sled, for this sled push. I don't know how much this sled weighs, so I gotta look that up as well. I'm doing 50 meters, so up and down once, and I do that 3 times. I really noticed it's sliding easier on certain parts. So it really depends on the floor, and I've heard that the high rocks competition floor is much harder than the ones in the gyms. So I actually need to go heavier up in weight at some point. So I also get a feel for what it's going to be like during the race. So far it's tough. 10 years ago, I started this YouTube channel and I was terrified of filming myself. It's kind of like that feeling that people are watching you, but then times 10. So the way I used to film myself, man, I don't know how I made it as a YouTuber because I was so afraid of filming. So I put down a water bottle, make sure like nobody was watching. Put my phone there, you know, selfie. This one kind of like, you know, around it, so it would be somewhere in the corner. And I would, you know. That's literally how it used to go. And in this scenario, people were actually watching me because I was like kind of like the first guy in my city that was filming himself in a gym. In this gym where we are right now, a lot of people are filming themselves. It's quite normal, but back then it was not normal at all. But think about this, right? So even those people that would look at me, and I think a lot of people would probably just be curious, like, hey, what's that guy doing? Oh, he's filming himself, and then continue with their workout. But even if someone would think, like, ha, look at that guy, he's filming himself, what an idiot. Then literally 5 seconds later, you would probably be doing a set of bench press and go like, goddamn, 3 reps. I'm such a failure. I suck. That's probably literally what some person is thinking, right? And then it would go on with their lives. So we're all just so much more busy with ourselves. And I think, you know, getting over that anxious feeling is something that will serve you very well in life. Some people take it too far and go crazy on like social media. They have no shame. But I don't think you guys are. So we're all just so much more busy with ourselves, and most of our anxiety comes from imagining other people's judgment. Now, another benefit of realizing this is that your decisions can truly become your decisions. So a lot of us live life according to what our parents want, our friends around us, a random dude on Reddit or TikTok, literally. And look, I've been there in my personal life when I wanted to do something different than, you know, the life that I was living. I wanted to get in shape. Even though me and my friends were hanging out every single night, smoking weed, drinking alcohol, I wanted to change that, right? And then you get these comments from people, you know, just one drink, just one slice of pizza, just stay a bit longer at this party. You take these comments very personal, but honestly, it's not like those friends even care when you leave the party. Maybe they do for a little bit. They try to convince you to stay. What do they do afterwards when you decide to leave? They find other friends to hang out with, right? So you're not actually that important when you think about it. I'm gonna make a steak in the air fryer. I know it seems diabolical, but I gave it a try and it's actually pretty good, and we don't have the grill in yet, so we're gonna get a grill soon. But for now, 10 minutes on this exactly, and then it turns out perfect. And then we have some couscous on the side. So very high protein, high carbs. We have some feta cheese as well for those healthy fats, and also some chickpeas in here. So very balanced meal, gonna enjoy this. Now, once I got to a certain level of success in my life and in my business, I honestly started to get influenced again by the world around me, to chase more likes on Instagram, to build an even better physique, because I was comparing myself to all these other people, you know. So you're chasing this money, status, validation, fame, but it's not actually making you happy. And this book really touches on that, and it honestly made a big impact on me. So I know a lot of people think that money will change everything, and yes, it does up to a certain level, right? But once you're at that level, it honestly doesn't really do much, at least not in the long term. Now, the book says that true fulfillment comes from a combination between pleasure and meaning. And I think that's so important, because these awards, they're not a bad thing. It's not bad to strive for, you know, more money, status, even fame. But I think that a lot of people do so in the wrong way, and then they become unhappy. And you see this with a lot of like reality TV shows. You know, people go on there and you ask them like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? I want to be famous. Now, if you take me, for example, I started creating YouTube videos, right? Here's the play button. I didn't get this because I wanted that play button. I wanted that award. I wanted to, you know, like be famous. That wasn't the goal. It's a byproduct of the videos I was making. I wanted to help people. I wanted to inspire people. And then those things will end up being a byproduct, right? And then you do it with so much passion. There's a real meaning behind it. And yes, there's also been a lot of pleasure, such as, you know, gaining those followers, hitting a certain count. But there's also been losses along the way, you know, where it doesn't go as well, where you fail sometimes. And so where the money may be less for a period of time. And what he actually talks about in the book as well, which he shows, is that and which I can also attest to, is that monetary gains or losses do not result in like permanent happiness. So very often we think, you know, once I accomplish this, I will be happy. And I can tell you guys from experience for over 10 years that I've been doing this stuff as an entrepreneur, and that I've, you know, reached a lot of highs and also lows, that those kind of things, they don't last forever. And this is called the adaptation principle, whereas we adapt quickly to both positive and negative changes. And it doesn't affect our happiness whether we have these monetary gains or losses, because they will always change. And I think that is kind of freeing to realize, because if no one cares and I just have to do it for me, what would I do? We're getting ingrained into the culture here. So for dinner we have paella with chicken. And we're currently watching Rings of Power. I just realized there's a second season. Now I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is as good as the movies, but at least it gives sort of the same vibes, you know? And now we're still living in between the boxes. We do have something new though.
We have new curtains made by moi. Yeah, I wanted them to be ceiling height, so the wall looks more elongated and pretty. And there's a lot of pleats in it, so there's a lot of fabric. Don't zoom in too much, I made them myself, so they're not perfect.
I think they look so good. It all seems easy, but hanging the stuff, doing everything right, putting that.
We had the
thing
curtain
on.
rod installed by a handyman. I'm not that handy.
Don't tell them. They don't have to know. Yeah, so we did have that done, but yeah. The other stuff she did herself.
Yeah.
She's kind of the man in the house, because, you know, she likes it.
I got two right hands.
And I have two left ones.
Yeah.
I'm good at other things. Now, I hope I got my point across with today's video, because it's done a lot for me in my life. And here's where it gets interesting. When you stop caring about what others think, they start caring more about what you think. So very often we think that if we're being ourselves and we're not, you know, acting normal, etc., we won't make any new friends. But people are actually attracted to those kind of people that are unique, that are being themselves, right? So you will actually find your real people. And I want to end this video with a quote that I read somewhere. You spend your 20s worrying about what other people think about you. You spend your 30s not caring what people think about you. In your 40s, you realize nobody was thinking about you the whole time. So let me know if you guys that are 40 agree with this, but I think why not have this mindset earlier on in life? So yeah, guys, by the way, what I said in the beginning of the video, that I don't care about you, I didn't mean it in that way, okay? And you know it by now that you watched the video, because I do on a deep level. And if you feel the same way, leave a comment for the algorithm, check the last video here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.